Morning. Hi. How are you? Good afternoon. Good evening. Whatever it happens to be when you happen to be watching this. How you doing? You ever just have one of those days? Went to pour coffee, spilled it. Went to sit down here at my desk at the computer here. Hit the desk. Coffee in the cup just went all over. Kind of like that one joke about the guy who woke up, going to, when went to go to work, picked up his briefcase, the handle fell off. Went to open up the doorknob fell off. Now he's afraid to pee. It is me, Fremont Lee. How are you? Views and opinions expressed in this video are those of the person saying it. That's me, Fremont Lee. I did not do a video yesterday, day before, whatever. But it is November. I have skipped birthdays for the past whatever. I've written them down, but I just haven't. Like Halloween would have been a great birthday to bring up. Like, hey, these are some birthdays for today. But with the passing of Sean Connery, I just wasn't in the mood, But November 1st birthdays, because this is November 2nd, 2020, I'm going to do November 1st. Jenny McCarthy, Peter Ostrom, if the name doesn't sound familiar, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, starring Gene Wilder. He was the boy. Toni Collette, Anthony Kiedis. Use your words, man. Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Barbara Bosson, Rachel Ticotin, Robert Foxworth, Belita Moreno, Lyle Lovett, Joe Morrow. She was in 13 Ghosts in 1960. Yes, there was a movie called 13 Ghosts in 1960. I never saw it. I don't know if it is in any way, shape, or form the same 13 Ghosts that starred F. Murray Abraham and Tony Shalhoub. I was that close to calling him Adrian Monk. But I think if I had said that, you'd have known that's not his real name. But it's Tony Shalhoub. Anyway, but this is the 1960 version. Michael Dietz. I'm sorry, that's Michaela Dietz. Kevin Wayne, Sophie B. Hawkins, and to the late Betsy Palmer. She did a lot of things before Friday the 13th, playing Mrs. Voorhees. But that's probably what most people will recognize her for, because younger generations. Marcia Wallace, David Gurner, Jeff Richards, who played Benjamin Pontypridd in the movie Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, 1954, and Bobby Heenan, wrestling. I want to say he was Bobby the Brain Heenan. Today being November 2nd, as I said, Fremont Lee here. This is me. Hey, how are you? November 2nd birthdays. Stephanie Powers, Heart to Heart. She's done other things than that. But Michael Bailey Smith, if you've ever seen the cartoon version, not the cartoon version, excuse me, that's wrong. I'm thinking it was. I didn't go in to check to see which movie it was. I know he was in he was a version of Freddy Krueger in A Nightmare on Elm Street, where he's bigger and everything. He was also in Master of Disguise. I want to say he was supposed to be one of the bodyguards for Not James Spader. Give me a second, because I was that close to saying Data. Brent Spiner. I always fuck up his name, but Brent Spiner. In the movie Master of Disguise. Anyway, Michael Buffer. Let's get ready to. That guy. Katie Lang. Jerry Wasserman. If the name doesn't sound familiar, that's okay. I want to say he was. I didn't even check. I remember him from an episode of the original MacGyver starring Richard Dean Anderson. And he was on a show called The Adventures of Beans Baxter. He was number 2. This was way before the number 2 from not South Park. The Austin Powers movies, which is sort of a connection to Stephanie Powers because her and Robert Wagner played heart to heart. Anyway, Nellie, David Schwimmer, Marisol Nichols, Peter Mullen, Luna Lorenz Velez, Whit Hertford, who was in Jurassic Park. He was the kid where he's like, it doesn't look dangerous. And then Sam Neill with the hooks, like, oh yeah, and then he do foo foo foo, which may or may not have been a reference to like the not scary movie, Scream, or one of the Ghostface with the. No, I Know What You Did Last Summer with the Muse Watson and but with the hook and it was the thing. I want to say that was him, the kid that was like. Danny Cooksey, name might not sound familiar. I believe he was the friend of Edward Furlong in Terminator 2. He was in some of the, I want to say the final season or a couple of the final seasons of the TV show Different Strokes. And of course, I spelled it wrong. When I wrote it down. Donna Spangler, producer Hannah Hart. If you don't know who that is, that's okay. If you've ever seen Epic Rap Battles of History, she's a producer of 1 or 2 of those. Lisa Lennox, name might not sound familiar to you, but if you've ever seen, I can't recall. I didn't write it down. She played Dee Dee, not Buckaloos. If you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. Some of them were purple, some of them were blue with the hair and the thing, and Eunice Huthart, or Huthart, I'm not sure. It's Huthart. She did stunts in Lara Croft Tomb Raider, starring Angelina Jolie. She's also Eunice has also done stunts in 28 Days Later, I believe it was, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I'm trying to get all my words together at one time. And to the late Burt Lancaster, Jack Starrett. Name might not sound familiar, but if you've ever seen First Blood, 1982, the one where he just wanted to get something to eat, and Brian Denny, he's like, yeah, get out. Anyway, Jack Starrett was in there as one of the guys, and he was also Gabby Johnson in the movie Blazing Saddles, 1974. Yeah, rubbish, that guy. Anne Rutherford, who played Corrine, their daughter, in Gone with the Wind, 1939. Terry Richards, name might not sound familiar, but anytime they show a Raiders of the Lost Ark Harrison Ford type clip of any sort, he's the one you see going ha, 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 with the sword, and then he's like that Arab swordsman was the name of the character. He was a big stunt guy. The fact that they had such a big guy like that, and he was a stuntman. they had a big stunt fight they were going to do, but you figure with the movie running as long as it did, which wasn't a problem in my book. I mean, it was worth watching. Still is. Anyway, but yeah, he was the Arab swordsman. He was a stunt performer. That was 1981. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Walter Wolf King was in the Marx Brothers movie A Night at the Opera, 1935. And Steve Ditko. If the name doesn't sound familiar, if you've ever watched a Spider-Man movie, you pretty much have him to thank. Sorry, I didn't want to do that on screen. That was out of the top 100 of 1,185. Yesterday's was out of 1,225 out of the top 100. My reference for the Marx Brothers movie, I'm wearing a Harpo Marx t-shirt. This is all fuzzy. I do have a couple of movies I want to talk about, as you probably saw in the screenshot. Clerks. It's Miramax's collector's series, widescreen. Just because they serve you doesn't mean they like you. Which is probably why you get a bunch of Karens coming in going, sorry, that's my apologies to anybody actually named Karen who isn't a Karen with the, whatever. It's like calling somebody a jackass. I wonder if somebody was actually named Jackass and he was such an asshole that I thought it was funny. Anyway, Clerks. I liked it. I really did. They had a TV show, and I'm not talking the cartoon, where Jim Brewer, I want to say, played I don't know if he played Dante or if he played Randall. Jim Brewer, of course. Yeah, man. He does the joke about alcohol stomachs the nightclub or whatever, and all you can drink beer, any kind of beer, because it's like they know each other and it's like they get along. But then you get the other you get shots in there as Jägermeister and all this other stuff, and that's when the party in your stomach with all the alcohol doesn't go very well, and something's the bouncer, I forget what, and no, not that way, go out the way you came in. But Clerks, the cartoon was all right. I like the movie. I mean, it was dialogue heavy. People, you could. It was like relatable. You could relate. I could relate to it. I don't know if you could, if you've ever seen the movie. But I mean, if you've ever worked in retail, I'm sure you could understand some of their the problems they have with customers. It's like, there are things you just don't want to put up with. I don't know. The fact that Kevin Smith was working at the store in which they filmed at, and they actually let him. I mean, that says a lot about the people that own the place. I mean, it was like, yeah, we're cool with it. It is rated R, of course, for language and or scenarios or there's some stuff that's implied, but it's like, it was like, excuse me, it was like how teens or young adults, 20s, whatever, actually speak, or spoke at the time, I guess. It's just one of those you. I mean, a lot of the movies, if you've ever watched movies, they're all. It's like some of them is like unrelatable. I mean, really, I don't. You couldn't relate to them. Clerks came along. Slackers actually was what made Kevin Smith say, "Hey, I could write that." He got him enthused to do it. So um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could really it changed a little bit. If you have a lot of movies, uh, you could probably see the influence of Clerks on other people. Um, if you watch movies, I guess. The next one, I know I didn't really talk a whole lot about it. You figure his breakout performance, Jim Carrey, The Mask, not to be confused with the Mask from Cher, Eric Stoltz, Sam Elliott. That was a different mask entirely. Deleted scenes left on the cutting room floor. It's more than just a movie. The contents of this disc include. Yeah, I guess there were some scenes that were just, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, a bunch of stuff. Peter Riekert, who was in Animal House, is in this. Peter Green, who was in Pulp Fiction. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I liked it. Cameron Diaz's first movie, I believe, or second, third, maybe. A lot of times movies will be like an introducing, which sometimes it's if you've ever watched the movie MASH 1970, starring Donald Sutherland and Elliot Gould, there's a lot of introducing, because most of the people were unknown. Um, Gary Berghoff at the time, unknown. I want to say he was doing a stage play where he was playing Linus, and it was a Snoopy Peanuts gang type thing. I'm guessing. I could be wrong on that. I've been wrong before. I'm sure I'll be wrong again. Maybe I just think I'm wrong because I'm used to it. Sorry. Sometimes I crack me up. Dumb and Dumber, unrated, more dumber than ever were. Uh, it's been a while since I've actually seen this one. A New Line Platinum series. I'm not really sure. I know Lauren Holly was in this. Karen Duffy. Karen Duffy. uh, Mike Starr, Charles Rocket, the late Charles Rocket. He was in an episode of Quantum Leap where he sees Al, who is the hologram. The fact that I remember that. Weird. I mean, I've got a lot of knowledge up here. It just runs together sometimes. What's with the accent? I don't know. Leave me alone. Okay. Views and opinions expressed in this video, or there's a person saying it. That's me, Fremont Lee. Now, I am not sure how many times they are going to renew this. You figure there's the original theatrical release version of the Blues Brothers. This is the special editions with expanded version with bonus footage. I have the DVD with bonus footage as well. You can watch it either with or without the scenes that were edited out. One scene comes to mind. Elwood is shown without sunglasses, but he's wearing safety goggles or safety glasses. And he's going in to quit because he's going to join the priesthood. So his boss says, "Oh, wish you the best of luck, Elwood." So, you know, now it's 40 years later from 1980, because this is 2020. This was released in 1980. Still a good movie. If you've ever seen this movie, the kid, Ray Charles scene where they're playing before they play the music, or maybe it was after they were playing the music. I think it was before. A kid comes in and tries to steal a guitar, and Ray Charles, you know, it really hurts breaks my heart seeing kids like that. Whatever. The kid was Devereaux White. I don't know if you know who that is by name. If you've ever seen Die Hard, starring Bruce Willis, he's the kid, Argyle, the chauffeur that drives Bruce Willis from the airport to Nakatomi Plaza. That's him. Yeah, I'm usually good at 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but until I actually have to think about it, I'm like, duh. Okay, boss. You know, it's like total. I have no idea. Dude, you were just talking about it. It was Spanglish with Adam Sandler and whatever. Is that what it was? I couldn't remember. I've seen this movie once. It probably deserves another viewing. There are bad cops and there are good cops, and then there's Bullet, Steve McQueen. You figure when this movie's talked about, the thing that is most talked about is either the car that he drives or the chase scene that takes place. Detective Frank Bullett's new assignment seems routine, protecting a star witness for an important trial. But before the night is out, the witness lies, dying, and the cool, no-nonsense Bullet won't rest until the shooters and the kingpin pulling their string are nailed. From the opening shot to closing shootout, Bullet crackles with authenticity. On location, San Francisco filming, crisp dialogue, and to the letter police, hospital, and morgue procedures. An Oscar winner for Best Film Editing, 1968. This razor-edged thriller features one of cinema history's most memorable car chases. Buckle up and brace for unbeatable action. See what I mean? Um, Robert Duvall, Don Gordon, Jacqueline Bisset, Robert Vaughn, Norman Fell. Music by Lalo Schifrin. Lalo? L-A-L-A-O. L-A-L-O. L-O-L-A? Lolo. No, Lalo. L-A-L-O. It says Don Gordon, but I'm not sure who that is. I'm sure if I saw a picture, it'd be like, oh, that's him. And I was pointing. I don't know. Oh, that's him. Which you're not supposed to point. Because when you do, three of them are coming back at you. I flipped the bird. How many pointing now? You know, it's like I'm at 26 minutes and I'm at the last movie. I wish they had done a sequel or some sort of follow-up. Because you figure the TV series, Roger Moore, I believe it was Roger Moore. Yeah, it was Roger Moore because in the movie he's on the radio saying, "Oh yes, drive the new Lexus," or whatever the heck he's talking about. The Saint, Val Kilmer, the Saint, Elizabeth Shue. Never reveal your name, never turn your back, never surrender your heart. Want someone to infiltrate a top secret organization or steal a scientific formula that could change the world? For the right price, this ain't your man. And if you're looking for a sexy sizzler of a thriller, Bill Dale, ABC Radio Network, this ain't your movie. Val Kilmer plays suave espionage hero Simon Templar, aka the Saint, and Elizabeth Shue co-stars as his atmospheric mix of bold adventure. Sorry, co-stars in this, not as his. In this atmospheric grand romance, an array of sophisticated gadgetry is at Templar's command as he plunges into a cloak and dagger netherworld of move and countermove. It just seemed like there could have been a follow-up, you know? You figure there are books written. They could have, like, you know, I'm not saying like Friday the 13th, where it was like you figure 1980, Friday the 13th came out. 1981, Friday the 13th Part 2. 1982, Friday the 13th Part 3 came out. Then they sort of faltered, where it was like a couple of years later, they ended up. It was like, wait a little longer, because you figure every year there is a Friday the 13th, if I'm not mistaken. April or August, November, I'm not sure. I can't remember. But it's like there is. So but I know story wise though, they would have had to come up with something which would have taken time and just didn't happen. How are you doing? Everything all right today? This morning, this afternoon, this evening, whenever you happen to be watching this. This is my second day off. I'm thinking about getting a pizza later today, but can't really afford it. With the time change due to the fact that in I don't know how many states or if everybody actually does this. I think Arizona was the only one that said, nah, we're not going to do it. Fuck it. Um, but Eastern Standard Time, most states partake in the daylight savings time. Being fall, we went back an hour. Oh yeah, my point on that. um, when I clocked out, it was 6:01. It was the new 6:01, where the time had gone back an hour. I am hoping, really hoping, that I get paid for that hour that actually happened. Because instead of working 7 hours, I actually worked 8. Actually, it was 8.5, not 7.5. Um, I'm hoping that gets fixed because third shift gets fucked like that sometimes. Um, I don't know if you've ever worked third shift, but it's like uh, first and second shift. We're having a potluck dinner party, oh, or luncheon. Everyone something, and then stuff. Okay, what is this in celebration of? Oh, it's Thursday. Okay, what's third shift get? You know, um, yeah, a whole bunch of that shit. Just um, I had mentioned they had chili the other day or a few weeks ago. At this point, it was like, how come third shift didn't get anything? Oh, we were told that you know they had some left over. I just never opened the fridge to check because I had nothing in the fridge. I had no reason to go in there at work. Work shift, work fridge, not my home fridge. I have food in the fridge. I just don't feel like making eggs right now. Can of soup. I had a can of soup. I had some ice cream before I started my coffee. Um, but yeah, they had stuff, and I'm like, I show up in the break room to have my lunch, and I'm like, what are the corn muffins for? There's crackers. Oh, they have a crock pot. What was in there? Yeah. Third shift wasn't even informed, and I questioned, and I got a letter. A letter. I got notified back that, oh yeah, we were told third shifts. There was some left in the fridge. I was like, oh, my bad, because I never checked the fridge. Like I said, I had nothing in there, so I'm not gonna go looking. It's like, hey, whose lunch can I steal? I don't do that. If it ain't mine, I don't take it. But there was chili in some cups in the fridge, so I was like, oh, okay. There was one left, so I heated it up and mixed it up, reheated it again, and I had some. It was like, okay, cool. But um, third, whoever set that up had let the third shift supervisors know this is what we're doing. Do you want to partake? They said no, that they would set something up for their shift. Did we get anything? No. It's been it's been over 2 weeks since that chili thing. Our supervisors haven't done anything. Now, I don't know if you've ever had a grinder before with lettuce on it. When you have it freshly made and the lettuce is on there and it's just all fresh and everything, that's great. The place closes like at 8 p.m., I believe. I know with the COVID and all that, times may change or vary. Um, I have to actually. Um, okay. They either close at 9, 10, or at 8, depending on the day of the week. Fuck them. Anyway, so 8, 9, or 10, depending on the day of the week. Which means when we get the grinders, They've either been refrigerated for 2 to 3 hours and then warmed up for 2 to 3 hours. I don't know if you've ever eaten warmed up, heated, warmed up lettuce that's been like, you know, that shit is nasty. More fluid than this blanket and as brown as, well, the darkest shit you've ever fucking had. That's, I mean, it was just all limp and it's like, really? And I don't do tomatoes on sandwiches. So that I'm okay with it on my taco pizza. I'm okay with it in spaghetti, goulash, salsa. I love salsa, but I don't like tomatoes on a sandwich, which I don't I you know, I don't do it. So, it's like I'm picking off the fucking limp brown fucking lettuce, picking off the tomatoes. It's like, sandwich, okay. So it's like been heated for 2 to 3 hours after being refrigerated for 2 to 3 hours or whatever, and either that or it's been heated for almost 5 hours, which makes it even worse. So, I mean, I'm glad we got it because I love the place they got them from. Um, it's like I'm cuffed or something. I'm not. I'm not. I'm just. Um, okay, I'm over half an hour. I'm approaching 40 minutes. I apologize for keeping you so long. I just like talking. Someone to talk to. Um, but my weekend right now, so I figure if I do get a pizza later, which I still can't afford, uh, which is why, yeah, I'm hoping I get paid that hour that we went out back an hour. So if I don't, the 10 years I've been working there for this little switch, because I don't always work the day, because in the 10 years I've been working there, I don't always work the day we move forward or the day we move back for that hour. So that extra hour we might get for the spring forward doesn't mean I'm, because if I'm working that day and we don't get that extra hour, then that's, hey. But I never seem to get paid that full time for that because the fallback, I'm still working that hour. So I hope they fix it to where I get paid that hour. I mean, it's whatever I get paid an hour, I'd be short. You figure if I worked overtime, that would add into it because it's on a daily thing. You work 8 hours, that's what you get paid. Anything over that is overtime. Doesn't always happen, but anyway, I don't want to have remarks. Um, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a pleasant evening or an afternoon, whichever it happens to be when you watch this. If you have not watched it, pay no attention to that mess behind the curtain. If you have not watched any of the movies, I was. I will try that again. If you have not seen any of the movies in which I've mentioned today, that is fine. I don't mind. I'm not going to assign you homework. I'm not a teacher. I may want to correct your spelling. If you type Y-O-U-R and you mean Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, I'm not going to, I may correct you on that. It's like, because you are happy to see me. I am happy to see you. I'm not going to be like, I are happy to see you. Or whatever the fuck I'm saying. But The Saint, I don't know if any of these are connected in any way, besides Dumb and Dumber and The Mask starring Jim Carrey. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's been 40 years for the Blues Brothers. As I've said, it's still a good movie. And with it being as old as as it is, people have pointed out the errors in which the movie has. I'm not sure. Could you figure? I'm not sure if the laws have changed, but the orphanage in which they need to collect the tax assessor payment for, because the orphanage is run by the church, I'm not sure if they would have to pay taxes on that, being a church run thing. But if the church doesn't want to, I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, I had a whole thought in there, and it's like right out the window. Well, close the window. Silly bastard. I'm sorry. I crack myself up sometimes, and it's sometimes over nothing. But yeah, you figure if the orphanage is run by the church and churches are exempt from paying taxes, then why would they have to pay taxes on the orphanage? That's just one thing. I don't know if there are other mistakes. I'm sure if I could look into IMDb, see if there are any errors, like a reflection of the camera, boom in the shot, and that's like if I had the microphone like right here, and you saw the microphone, because that's a boom. The mic, it's a boom mic, the one that is overhead, so that's boom in the shot would be the error. If you've watched the movie Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, the boom is in the shot a few times in that. You see the little dark thing hanging down. That's the boom. That's the mic. It's like because the person's holding it like this, and so they're trying to so they can get the stars going. Oh yeah, and then I walked out the sideways. Whatever the fuck they say. I don't know the dialogue. But yeah, that's a boom in the shot. If it's seen in the thing. Sometimes the take is better than anything else, so that's the one they use. So I can understand that. Continuity. That's the let's see. I want to say there was an error. If you've ever seen the TV movie The Dukes of Hazzard Reunion, I want to say Daisy ends up mentioning that Mama Joe is going to be her maid of honor at the wedding. This is before it happens. I'm sure it's happened in other things. If you've ever, if you've ever seen a movie, sometimes it's not caught, or the scene was reversed from the one they had before, or something. It was like because in most cases, movies are shot out of order. If you ever seen, The Breakfast Club, that was filmed in order according to what I know of it. But there, you figure. I'm trying to think of a movie. I don't know. but they have days for this place, like this warehouse. We have three days to film here. So they have the 3 days. They do what they can in that 3 days. So they get like every scene they can in this place. I say warehouse, it could be like somebody's house. So it's like they have certain amount of time to film here. They will get all the scenes for the movie they can while they have the place. Then they'll move on to the next place. And so you figure there's going to be a lot of times, if you've watched movies, that's why the people's outfits are the same throughout the movie. Laura Dern, Jurassic Park, she had that outfit. Was it a red shirt, tan pants? She liked it at first. Oh, I like this. I could see myself wearing this. After filming the entire time in that outfit, she's like, I really don't want to wear this anymore. But it's like Gilligan's Island, if you've ever watched that show. Skipper, Professor, and Gilligan, I believe, are the only three wearing the same outfits throughout the series. They may wear something different in an episode, but for the main, it's the same outfit. And people wonder why they brought so much. They're millionaires. So you figure their excuse for bringing so much was, well, we never know what we're going to do. So it's nice to have clothes for it, which is understandable. Ginger brought so many clothes because I want to say she had like grabbed whatever she had to escape paparazzi or something at the time. I could be wrong on that. But she wanted to look her best wherever it was she was at, so she brought whatever. Mary Ann brought whatever because it was everything she had on her trip. So that was, so you figure the Professor, Skipper, and Gilligan, that's what they were wearing. So that ended up being what they wore throughout the whole thing. But the continuity. I keep thinking I'm saying that wrong. The continuity. You've probably noticed that in some movies. Like, why are they wearing jeans and a t-shirt here? They were just wearing a sport jacket and khakis. So it was like, and then they cut back and it's like he's got his jacket back on. So it's like Leslie Nielsen movie did that. Wrongfully Accused, because he ends up throwing his jacket somewhere, and he comes around, and when he's leaving, he's wearing his jacket again. It's like he didn't. The reason for that was he found one similar to or just like the one he was wearing. So it's like, okay. But yeah, that's the so like whenever you watch a movie and they're wearing the same clothes throughout the whole movie, that's to help one of them. It should be set. It's supposed to be set in the same time frame, I believe, or it helps with continuity. I keep saying it. It doesn't sound right, but the continuation. That way, it's like they're wearing the same outfit, so they don't have to like. Was he wearing a tuxedo in this scene? He's wearing blue jeans. It's not going to fit. So it's one of those things. I'm going to stop now because I'm approaching. Oh, I'm 50 minutes. I hope you're having a good day. Please be kind to each other. We're all going through shit. Some people can handle it a little bit better than others, and some people can hide it. It's one of those things. But we are all going through shit. Kind word is nice. Not being a dick to somebody would, it happens. I get it. You want to be, because maybe somebody's like on your last nerve, and you can't take. It's like tomorrow, when I go back into work, I don't want to go back into work, which is one of the reasons I play the lotto. I'm hoping to get all matching numbers and win the $10 million or whatever it happens to be at. So I don't have to go back to work to that place. It isn't the worst place to work, but somebody's like, every time I go to use the bathroom, there it goes again. Hey, thanks for paying attention to me. I'm glad I'm the center of your universe for this 5 minutes or whatever the fuck. You figure, I wake up, I have my water and my blood pressure pills. I'll have my breakfast, which is usually a couple of eggs. I was eating a can of soup for breakfast, but that affected me. But the eggs, I'm fine. Some eggs. But I'll get to work a couple hours later, because I have to stay hydrated on the medication and for my blood pressure medication. I have to go to the bathroom. So right about, and after an hour and a half of being there, I have to go to the bathroom. So they're like, there it goes again. My response to that is this. Yeah, I have to go again. Big deal. I wake up, I have water to drink. I have my blood pressure medication with water. So it's like, you should be so happy to be this regular on that, for that. Sorry, I just made myself laugh with that. I don't know why either. But it's true. I mean, you drink water, the outcome is take a leak. And that's probably more information you wanted. But hey, I'm sharing. I'm just sharing. Oh man, I'm approaching. This is almost an hour. Just me rambling, and I'm okay with that. If you're okay with that, I am going to end this video now. I hope all is well with you. I really do. If you're not feeling well, hope get some rest if you can. Hopefully you can. Make sure you get some exercise. Stay hydrated. I hope you're sleeping well. Excuse me. Ooh, tastes like ice cream. The black cherry ice cream that I had for breakfast. Not a good idea. I should probably eat something like real food. But if I get that pizza later, maybe a grinder. Yeah. Problem is, I'll get the whole grinder, which is enough for like 4 meals. But it'd be the only thing I'd eat today. So besides the ice cream. Of course, I think I had a bowl of soup earlier. I can't remember. I've slept since then. I hope all is well with you. I really do. Thank you for watching. Take care.